day, good day, good day. How's everyone doing? Let's see who's live with me today. Is it just the faithful few? Or do we have more people? Mr. Harold in the house. Healthcare Crossfire also in the house. Hope you guys are doing fantastic. We got a good session for you today. We're going to look at all the markets. I am going to look at what's happening in the competition again. And we're going to see where we're at. But how's everyone doing? Let me know what time it is there by you guys. And let me know also if I don't see your name. Because some of you got other names. Let me know who it is, right? So I don't end up calling you by your business name. And let's take it from there. Hey, we got 49 people in the competition at the moment. That's increase. Hard to hear with the music in the background. Okay, I'll drop the music. Good. Let me just check. Then I got my volumes up here. I'll drop the music. Thank you for letting me know. I'm gonna drop the reel though. Like, how's that? Let me know. Is that better? Okay. So I'm trying to go live every day with the duration of the competition as well, just to make sure that you guys are getting extra value. Better. Thank you, Mr. Harold. But also, just to talk to chat and just get more in terms out of this trading as a whole. So let's quickly look at what's happening in terms of the challenge, right? Let me bring that over to the side. And let's first start there, right? In case you guys haven't logged in and checked what's going on, let's see what's happening. Let me share my screen. And we'll do this. Okay. Who's in the top? What's happening over here? Wow, this has been changing around a lot today, I see. Mr. Mtino has fallen out of the top 3. Mr. Mtino was number 2 earlier. So something else has happened. And Cashflow DR, what's happening? Cashflow DR, you were at 4.3%. Should we check what happened in those trades? Let's go and look. Okay. Got some small losses here. That's good. Big gains there. Gains. Hey, what happened here? What's this? It's the Cashflow DR. What's happening here? That's way too big of a loss in relation to your other losses there. All right. So we're starting to see what's happening here. So what can we learn from this, everyone? And this is an informal stream. Just stick with me towards the entire stream. Yeah, I've got some, I've got some stuff to share with you as well. Maybe some personal stuff as well. Michelle Barnes in the house. Mildred, Benita, Harold. Thank you for joining. Mr. Jason as well. Thank you for coming. In fact, I was just looking down at my phone now, Mr. Jason. That was you on my phone. So, welcome. Let's see who else is doing what they're doing. Mr. Timothy Miranda right at the top, still holding the top spot, 1.59%. Well done. Mr. Darren as well, cycling in between. A new entrant in the top 3. Redat. We'll just call it Redat for now. Right? 0.75%. New entrant in the top 3. IC Art. I believe I know who that is. I'm forgetting who that is right now, but I know who that is. One of the students as well. Mtino, sorry to see you drop out of there. Chris holding steady. Mr. R. Gangan, I know who you are. You were there as well. Isabel coming up as well. Now let's go and check. We've got 46 out of 49. Let's see what that means. Let's go to page number 5. Let's see who's been naughty. Steve says, I'm back after long absence. Welcome back, Steve. Welcome back. Let's go and see what's happened here on the naughty page. Okay, on the naughty page, still the same people. Steve, I believe this is you. We need to get active here. I believe this is you. Let me see. Need to get that 3 trades in before the week is done. Right? This is the DQ. Look at this. KWF guy. I'm not sure who that is. Right? KWF guy. I'm not sure who that is. But look at this. 35% up if you didn't go too big. Right? If you didn't go too big. Look what happened. You could have been up, but you got taken out by the DQ. Let's learn from that. Same with Lucas. Let's de-risk, everyone. Let's de-risk, right? Let's see what's happening on page number 3. We got some drawdowns there. That's okay. Like, as long as you are taking steady risks. I see some naughtiness happening here as well. I'm going to not speak about that now. To speak to those students directly. It's only week number 2 being that much down means you're over risking. Hey, what just happened to cash flow DR? 4.8% 2 days ago. And now 0.08%. In fact, we've just seen him drop off the first page, I believe. Yeah. After holding the top spot. Slow and steady. Let's see what we can learn from Mr. Timothy Miranda. On top here. One of the student educators at the moment. Doing well. Let's see. I don't want to expose him and put pressure on him, but let's have a look at. This is what we're talking about, right? Slow and steady. Profit 212. 240. This is likely a trade that went into profit and then started to come back or was taking a smaller position. I like what I'm seeing. Slow and steady wins the race, right? Small profits. Consistency is key. He is a scalper by nature. Likely some of these have been taken on the second chart, right? Mr. Adel says, for sure over this. Mr. Adel, as long as you know what you did and we can learn from that, that's what's important, right? That's what's important. I know it feels bad right now. What I'd say is go to the demo on TradingView and still be active. Okay, this is all good as well. Big wins there. Small losses. Look at this. Small losses, right? And some of the wins are bigger than others, yes, but small losses overall. Now, you might be saying to yourself, I don't want to win that small. But the thing is, at the end of the day, it's about your risk management profile. Now, if you think about this, right, that's a on a $100,000 account, that's a 1.5%. So look at the $1,500 made there. And it's all about just scaling it up. All you need to do is up your risk a little bit, and that could be a lot more. So well done to Mr. Timothy there. In a little, I'd say just a week. It's a little bit more than 5 days. I don't understand what makes DQ. DQ is when you went down more than 6% in your account, which means either you didn't read the rules or you read the rules, but you were over leveraging by a massive amount. And so you went into DQ, and it doesn't matter. After you've gone into DQ, it doesn't matter how much you make. After that, you've been disqualified automatically from the competition because of the drawdown rules. So just to recap real quick before I go into looking at the charts. We go to competition. We go to rules. And this is what I told everyone in that class. Don't lose more than 6% from your high water mark. Don't lose more than 5% daily. Must take 3 trades minimum per week. Only 1 entry per person or you'll be disqualified. Must log into school community and comment at least 3 times a week. Right? So that needs to happen. Now, again, Mr. Timothy Miranda is in the top spot, right? And he's already a mastermind student. So at the moment, he is just competing for the fun of it. But we'll make sure he gets something else there. But let's say he holds at top spot, because I don't want to discourage the rest of you guys. Let's say he holds at top spot. What we're going to do is we're going to remove him from the top spot, and everyone else is going to move up. So he still gets the bragging rights, yes, right? But he's going to move. Everyone else is going to move up. So you could be in a position where you get some of the other prizes that set up, and even the ones that are not listed here, just by continuing to trade. Good. Yes. So new to tech, absolutely. If you've lost more than 6,000 in one day on that account, that means you drastically over risk, and so it's gone into DQ. Correct. Awesome. For the 23 people that are live with me now, please stay with me throughout the session. I believe you're going to find tremendous value at this. Right? Tremendous value. Tremendous value. I sound like Donald Trump there. Tremendous, amazing. Right? How does that sound? Again, if you just joined me right now, please just do me a favor, drop your name in the chat. And then also, we got 24 people live. Do me a favor, go onto the channel that you're on now, the YouTube, and just hit or smash, as the youngins say, smash that like button. Now, hit it only once, because I've had some of you trying to do us a favor, hitting it multiple times, and if you hit it multiple times, you're actually adding a like and then taking away the like. So just do it once, and then that would be awesome. If you are watching this on the replay, then please comment that you've watched it on the replay. So let me quickly move over to the charts and we'll talk about what we see there, and then I'll talk to you some more. Let me move this over to that side. I'm excited. The competition is going well. 46 people in. That is good, especially since we haven't promoted it outside apart from just the students and stuff. So that to me is awesome. Okay. Give me a 10 in the chat if you're still here looking for value. Please don't be so silent, quiet. I know there's a bit of a delay from the time I say it to the time it appears, right? But let's keep going. Jill says, afternoon, coach. Afternoon to you too. Okay, awesome. Let's share this tab. First things first, Euro USD. It's going to be awesome. What if you just join the challenge today? Well, then you have today and tomorrow to get those 3 trades in. And how many days do we have left on the challenge? Let me see. Because we got to start. We got 6 days left. 6 days left on the challenge is more than enough time. In fact, some people haven't started as well. I don't know if they're thinking, start at the last point and then try and make it towards the end. That doesn't always work out that well, right? It doesn't always work out. Some people are getting into what we call flow state, which is if you do that consistently, you get a bit better. And you might just be, towards the end doing a lot better. But absolutely, if you haven't started yet, just get those 3 trades in and make sure that you are commenting inside of the school. Remember, all rules need to be abided by, not just the trading. If the others are not abided by and you end up winning something you're supposed to win, you won't get it. It will be forfeited to someone else. So there's no Facebook, nothing else, just inside of the school community you need to comment. Okay, let's look at what we're seeing over here. I'm going to take you up from the monthly. And we covered something today in class that you should be thinking about, right? We traded into this gap over here, right? If you were in today's class, you're going to find good value in this. We traded into this gap over here. And so now the question is, once we traded into this gap, and of course we've been in there before, but we came down again, we are following the order flow. Write this down, the order flow, right? And I'm going to go through a couple of charts and we'll kind of like figure out where it's going next. Okay, so following the order flow, we came into this gap. We're going to look inside of there, what's developing out of that area. This is a monthly gap, so we could then go to a daily time frame, right? And we can kind of like ask ourselves, what is happening over here? Now, what did we actually do so far? And I'm going to go to a 4 hour after this, but what did we do so far? We came down, we grabbed there, right? And anytime you see this, let me tell you this. Remember how I said we first go to grab liquidity at the bottom, then go internal to this gap. Whenever we go beyond that, like we did over here, that's a sign the market is shifting. Now the market did shift back down again over here through these gaps, right? But then we got your NFPs, your CPIs and stuff like that, and we traded back through that. Now, here's your first sign of what's currently happening. This gap over here that was traded through, I'm going to change the color, tells me that on the daily, the order flow has now shifted to the upside, right? On that higher time frame, here's a note for yourself. Those gaps, those FEGs on the higher time frames, when they get traded through when they shouldn't be, like for instance like this, that one gets held, price drops down. This one's supposed to get held and go down, but it doesn't go down. That tells me order flow has shifted. The market is now currently producing uptrend cycle. So the target in play is no longer this lows. The target now in play is the high, right? Now, does it need to get to that high? It doesn't. But where are we trading towards and how are we keeping our wits about ourselves? Is we are trading towards that direction, right? And I'll take it even more fractally down now. Now, some of you can use this information for the actual competition. Take it or leave it, right? Remember what I said today, though. Give me a 10 in the chat, or give me a 9 in the chat if you're still with me here. But remember what I said today on class is we don't have to do that. We're watching time and we're following order flow. We're following price, right? Now let's see what we have on the weekly here at the downside. On the weekly, we had price go into that gap, and eventually you'll be able to spot this into that gap, then drop down, then come up, then hold this low for some reason, and then go back up again. Now, we don't need to know why it's held that. I want to draw your attention to this, though. This is also a gap. It's a different type of one. It's where the wicks are present, but the bodies are not overlapping. Right? It's called the volume imbalance. That one over there, prices dropped down, held it. Here's a similar one over here. Prices dropped down, traded through it. So that is a sign that order flow shifted up again. So let's look at what we're going to see next. So now we're going up, up, up. I'm going to make it simpler now. And we move over to a 4-hour. This over here was a weekly. Well, thank you for joining today. Thank you for joining today. Trust me, there is value in these things. Now we can step the market up. You should be noticing that my favorite pattern is forming here, right? Especially after the market traded through this level here. Masterminds, what are you seeing? Type it in the chat. What are you seeing? Yes. Just like you answered in the class that once price took the, yes, exactly, with no lower imbalance, it went and took out the daily low. Yes, that's exactly what it did, right? Thank you, Teresa. I appreciate that. That's the master pattern. Now, let's look at it more fractally, right? And I won't go as deep on the other ones. I'm just showing you on this one. Let's look at it more fractally. What else do you see? See another one? Let me know. Right? So what is the order flow? Do we need to guess here or can we see? The order flow currently is up. So what's likely to happen tomorrow? Two things. Price only trades. Write this down for your notes. Price only trades from two areas. Now watch this. Let me show you guys, my students know what I'm talking about. Type it in the chat real quick. Where does price trade from? The two areas that price trades from. And only ever trades from two areas. Type it in the chat. Let me know. Also, based on today's class, check this out. If you followed along today, consolidation. So that's a draw, right? Price wants to go there. So that's drawing price. What else do we have? Right? We have old high. What else do we have? Coming from higher time frame gap. Everything at the moment, including that was the change of direction. So remember when I still expected it to go down, it was in the anticipation that holds. But the moment that shifted around there, that was the change of direction. Absolutely. Carla Kendrick says a high, a low, or a gap. PinCorp says liquidity to liquidity. Jill Craven says a high, a low, imbalance gap. Park says imbalance or high or low. That's the only two places. So now where do you need to look tomorrow? Well, look at what time frames are playing out. I'm going to tell you how to do this. This is free trading information. I'm going to go deep in the mastermind cohort soon on this stuff, right? We're going to find the highest level the price is traded from, which is this one here. The weekly, the highest time frame. Let's see. Let's go here. Boom. There's a weekly gap. Okay. That means we can look to the 4-hour. Right? So this is all you're going to look for likely tomorrow. Unless order flow shifts. And I'll tell you where order flow is going to shift. Notice how we held this gap as well. Trades through it, yes, but on the other correlated asset class, it doesn't go through it, right? Now, what are we going to see tomorrow? Either we go below this low, right? Price only trades from 2 points. Or we create a new gap over here, trade into it, and then target that high. That would be my expectation. Now, where should we lay some caution? We are currently about to take out the high before the overall high. So maybe we do this. I'll tell you before in both scenarios, so you know what to expect. Maybe we first go up here. If we go up here, expect a bit of a deeper retracement and then an attack there, right? However, if we fall down first, then I expect it to do this, right? That's likely what I expect it to do. Everyone tracking with me, give me a 10 in the chat again if you are with me on that. And well done, you guys are answering correctly. Either gap or high and a low. That's that. My projection for that one is upside, right? That's the upside. That's what I'm looking for. I know someone just threw in a random trade now on the competition in hopes that, coach, you said up. I'm just hitting buy. I'm going to look at that lot size and I'm going to check if you guys are naughty or not. Right? So there we go. That's what I'm seeing. Boom, boom, boom. Next up, NAS 100. Okay, we just cleared that level now. Let's go do the same thing. First, we go to the highest time frame. In this case, it is a monthly. Let's keep it simple. What did you learn today? Let me take that off. You learned that when price comes to a gap, where does it target next? There. That's what it targets next. Now, this might happen overnight. We'd have to see. What am I doing? Over there, right? So price drops in. Isn't this amazing? Drops in and starts to target something. That's a monthly, so we can look to our daily. Let's see what's happening. Look at this. What does this look like, everyone? Let me show you. Let me know in the chat. What does it look like? Let's comment. Let's get detailed with our comments. That's why I like Jill when Jill's on the call. Jill, give you a essay. Jill, give us an essay there, please. All right? I like the detail. I love it when people get that engaged. You guys know I love the questions. What does that look like? Into that level? Coincidence? I think not. Target over there. Hopefully it doesn't happen overnight. I don't want to be a trader above this tomorrow. I'd like to get there. Yes. Yes. Now let's look at some of the things that are going to give us indication of where we are at, because now this one is still in play, right? That's the daily, which means we cleared daily highs now. So if we want to be really safe, what we need to see is price trade from two areas, either below a low or from a gap. Now I'm going to tell you from the get-go, this is a potential gap trade over here. That's a gap candle. It's a very strong one. So we could possibly, I'd love to see this. That would be ideal. And if we come down here, write down what I'm saying. If we come down over here, this is going to be a 1 hour trade up to that place, up to that spot. Right? That's what it's going to be. So look at what we're holding so far. We're holding these ones. Trade into it, expand up from it. Now we'd like to see a pullback. I'd really love to see a pullback and not just a straight push up to that. We could possibly get a pullback out to this level here. A pullback down, up, and then target that. Right? But again, another master pattern. Now, this stuff is fractal. Let me show you what I mean. Look here. I'm going to draw this on. And you'll learn to spot them like this as well. Same level over here. Daily time frame. If I go down to the 1 hour, we're going to see a expanded master pattern, large one. Let me show you. Consolidation. Expand down, expand down. Then it tries and attempts to go up. Comes down again and attempts to go up. Right? Let me show you on the 4 hour. Now, usually, real quick, and I'm speaking a lot here today, but I hope you're coming to learn. Usually when we see one like this take that long, then it's like a reset of a time frame here at the bottom. So we can go ahead and look at the weekly and see what do we actually do here. What do we go into? Okay, so it looks like we just went back into that same level again that was here on the monthly, and likely we're producing a 4 hour as well, which you can see it's doing that. It's very choppy. We did have all that tariff discussion, so that's what happened there. I think we're gonna get a smoother move over here though. If we can just get, I'd hope overnight we get a strong push down. So if overnight we get a strong push down without any drastic information or news happening tomorrow on the stock market or so, then possibly tomorrow, Friday, is not the day we go there, but it's maybe the day we spend the entire time coming down here, or it's the day we chop around for a bit. Monday we come down and then we start expanding Tuesday. That's, time is something you have to wait on, but at least that's what I want to happen. I want it to pull back and then go up there. That will be ideal. So that market's going up as well. Let's go to GBUSD. It's likely going to be the same as Euro. Let's check. Let's go to that monthly. Now let's look at this one. This one doesn't have, we're not in a gap, right? But we did take out a monthly low. Okay. So coach, you said when we take out a low, we trade to a what? What do we trade to most likely? We trade to a gap, likely. We don't have to get all the way there, but that's our anticipation. Thank you for the 20 people who are still staying on right now. I know some of the others don't have the patience to get till there, but that's where we're most likely going. So monthly takes that, right? And now we can go ahead and look at the daily and see what it's producing for us. Coincidence? I think not. Right? Let's look. What does this look like? Every single time. Right? This is why I'm so excited with the Mastermind cohort coming up, the 8-week program. Because I'm going to make monsters out of everybody on this. Right? That's the plan. Just type in the chat if you want to be a monster trader. Not a master trader, a monster trader. Monday's US bank holiday. Okay, so it might protract even more, slow down, and then expand very strongly. Who wants to be a monster trader? Right? Not a master, a monster trader. Okay, what are some of the things we can do here? We want to investigate this level. Again, based on today's class, consolidation, right? And then we want to validate that level. Can price reach up till there? Okay, can price reach up till there? What are some of the things we can see and do to see if it can get up there? We can put on our standard deviation over here, and we can look. So right now, the safe level is around about here. That's where we want to get, right? Why did you put it on this one, coach, and not that one? That's because of divergence. You choose the correct one. I'm not going to go into all that divergence stuff now, but this will be the safe level. We're going to get there. Boom. Right? Want to be a monster trader, says Jill. Yes, monster master, absolutely. Right? Monster master. So over there, again, same kind of thing. So what now? How do we, coach, because we can't, unless you want to swing trade. If you want to swing trade, then you are waiting for a gap to form here. In the next couple of days, you trade from the gap to there. That's if you want to swing trade. Right? If you don't want to swing trade, you are looking, let me see if there's a weekly high inside of here. Wow, the weekly high is pretty far and probably close to that. So you're looking to trade till there. I am just going to look at something quickly. That's a weekly gap. Right? Now look at you again. Look at this. When you have a gap that gets overlapped by a gap, that's called a double gap, and that tells you the order flow has shifted. The market has shifted and it's going a different direction. Rewind that piece of information there to hear that again. Right? Now, in here, going up there, let's see how we go. That's a weekly gap. So we can go to our 4 hour. We're going to put on our standard deviation out of the last point that came back into this level. So here we came back in again. Boom. Expanded out. That's kind of a slight tap, so we're not worried about that one. So let's do this, that. Look at that. 2 to 2.5 at that level. Right? So again, likely on this one as well. You see what high that is. That's your December high. Right, December the 30th high. Yeah. So January high as well. This is going to be significant. That's going to be your next target that's drawing to. Hopefully we pull back before that. Now, write this down for your notes as well. Monthly highs and lows. Right? Also draws on price. Let's check if that is a January high. See? I marked it off. Perfect. That's a draw on price. Here's your January high. The monthly chart. That's going to draw price right there. And so that's the low hanging fruit. January high is the low hanging fruit. Right? Into a gap, into an SBR, or grab a low and boom, target that. So what am I saying? If I'm saying, let's say price falls all the way till there. I am not, and it's in session when it gets there, I'm not going to be a seller. Price does this, gets here, and on lower time frame does that, I'm buying that all the way up till there. Right? That's just a liquidity grab. It's not a shift in direction. Now, when would it become a shift in direction? We're coming up from this weekly. If we break through this again, that gap over there, and we leave behind a gap on this side of the market, and price tags it, then it's shifted, and then I'll be targeting these lows. Right? But for now, I'm a buyer. I'm a buyer on this one. Okay, let's keep it going. I'm going to leave the BTC and the XRP for now because mainly my expectation is still exactly the same. Like I said to you all, it's gone into that level here. I'd like to see it go up from there, but I am aware that this is only going to start its next move based on a news cycle. That's been the pattern in these ones at the moment. This is going to start the next move on a news cycle. So if it's positive news for it, we'll see it go up till there. If it's negative news, then we're going to see a bigger, deeper retracement. But if I go according to what price action has been doing, here's what's bad and here's what's good, right? At one point, this was good. We traded into this. But where do we go next after here? After trading in, we go and clean the monthly high. Remember, I just told you, monthly highs and weekly highs are significant areas. Give me a 21 in the chat if you're still finding value. Now, it went through there, took out that particular area. Don't worry, guys, I'm not going to keep you much longer. Went through there, took out that area, and then retraced quite hard back. So we can go and look at a weekly. What's the weekly saying? From a weekly perspective as well, showing more signs to the downside, right? Going back in that level possibly. But I am optimistic at the moment about this long wick candle inside of that long wick candle. Think of that as a gap. This one's not the clearest one because of course it's kind of like almost similar size, but that one, this is a gap and another gap holding it. If we can close like stronger up on the week, you know, over there, we could possibly in the next 3 days close a bit stronger, then do another attempt at the top side. But at the moment, if I am being honest, absent a news event, if we clear this low over here, then yeah, we're going deeper. And I've said that, you know, for weeks, but I am hopeful that this is responsive enough to take price up. And currently it is retracing back into these levels. So I would assume, let me put it to you this way, I'd assume we break this, we're going to see a lot more downside. Hopefully not. Now, break means we close beyond it and leave a gap, right? Not just a wick beyond it. But hopefully that's that. Right, so we're going deep in the charts today. XRP, much the same thing. Look at all the other streams I did. Still in the same holding bay. I'm hoping for it to go up from that same level with the same analogy that I've been talking about. Now, this has been a little bit stronger. Thought it would get all the way down into this low wick here, but it hasn't yet. If we get up till there, that's a decisional area. If we get above here, mark my words, if we get above this 295 level over here, we're going to see new all-time highs on this one. We just need to get above that one. But why? Because we've had this. That would mean Break up, hold, break up again. That's 2 breaks up. We're going to target that. We'll go to an all-time high. If we just need to get above this level and close there. If we get below this level, I expect further downside. I don't want to see us below this particular point. That would be bad. I really don't want to see us below that point. Then MNQ, much the same as NAS. This was the levels the other day just for the actual. It wasn't drawn on there. It was drawn on here for the trade down on CPI. That was my expectation, and we got that. So now the market has shifted. Let me clear this. And the same rules apply over here that applied on the NAS. In that MNQ is traded into a gap. The next logical explanation or expectation should be that high. Do we need to get to that high? We don't. What we would do is we'd look at the MES to see which one takes the high first. Let me quickly do that and show you what I mean by that. MES. I'll clear that. Use a chart view. Option I to invert the correct way. And let's see where it actually is. So at the moment, MES is the front runner, right? It's stronger. If you're doing the NAS, you're going to do the NAS plus the SPX, right? Or the S&P 500. So notice how there's no gap here, but there was a gap here. That's all we needed. Now the next target is that high. If we get to that high first there, I'd expect this not necessarily to clear that high, but to spend some time consolidating there. So be aware that if you are trading the MNQ or the NAS, you want to look at the SPX or the S&P 500 as well, just to see which one's going to reach it first. I want to be out of the trade whenever the one that reaches it first. Or if, last thing I'll say on this, if we do get above it, I want to see the respective time frame hold this, leave gaps behind, and then we'll continue taking all-time highs up there. So it's very objective, everyone. It's not just random rules. I've long since moved from that. It's very objective. If this reaches it first, I'll not be taking trades here, right? Because that means the objective on one of the charts has been reached. And again, what is this? Master pattern. Master pattern. Same thing every single day. Okay, I'm going to take some questions now. Any quick questions you guys want me to answer regarding trading? We'll talk a little bit, then we'll be off. Mr. Barkdean says 21 star. Let me quickly check what's up in the news tomorrow. But any questions in the chat, let me know. And stick around, everybody, man. Don't just jump off. It's 10 p.m. here in South Africa. I'm the one that should be tired. Okay, Friday, core. Let me share. We've got core retail sales, and so Friday's gonna be a good trading day, right? How can we use this as scalp? Good question. Good question. Let me show you. Let me actually show an example of a scalp. That way it's not just a... I'll show you the scalp I took. This is not today. This is the other day. You can see that execution's there. I'll show you an example of a scalp. No, this is the wrong broker. I don't trade that broker anymore. What's this FXCM? Did I take it off of this one? You know what? Let me just use this chart and I'll show you. 1 hour chart was the chart in question. And where were we today? Let me see. It's definitely not that far. 10. Okay. And sorry, just give me a second to backtrack my mind as to where we were. Okay, here we go, Miss Jill. Watch this. So we took out this 3 candle low over here, Mr. Harold. Took out this 3 candle low, right? And to Jill's question in class today, if there is no gap, where do we expect to go next? From liquidity to liquidity. Let me zoom in to show you that that is a 3 candle low. There you go. 1, 2, 3. Right? And what do we expect? We go from liquidity to liquidity, which means from stop losses to stop losses if there is no gap. So that would be the expectation. If you look in the scalp, you're looking to scalp from the 4 hour as your higher time frame or lower, 4 hour to 1 hour, right? Now, what a lot of people mess up here is they think scalping means let me jump on a 5 minute and get a trade from there. No, every good trade comes from a higher time frame level, right? So just because you want to enter off of the 1 minute doesn't mean you start on the 5. If I'm entering off of the 1 minute, I'm starting on the 4, right? It sounds counterintuitive, but that's exactly how it works. So we come down here. Now we're following price action. Our expectation is we're going here next. Right? Why is our expectation that? Because we grab liquidity here. There is no gap here and order flow is still up. What changes order flow? Order flow doesn't go down until we get a higher time frame move down, which we haven't got at that point because we haven't yet reached the weekly objective. Right? At that point. So the 4 hour, look at this. The 4 hour turning here through that gap means nothing because it's not turning from the weekly. Okay. I'm giving you an example from I want to give you an example from this price action here. Not today's price. There was another trade there, but we'll just take it from there. Okay. Or rather it is today's price, but not at the end. So watch this. And you guys can add more questions, right? So if you have any ones, because I'm not going to be much longer on the stream, we're going to end soon. So price comes down into this level. That's a 4 hours. We can look to the 15 minute. We start to have an expectation immediately on the 15 minute that we are going to see, right? We are going to see a master pattern. So here's your master pattern, right? There's it. And we're going to look at that next. Okay, so what do we need to see first? I'm going to show you. Okay. I don't want to, let me not go there. I wanted to get all technical now. So we break over there. Next thing we want to do is we want to align our high probability times, which really starts from 8. We're already in it there. We're already in the high probability times. We can stretch it all the way till there. Okay, so now price starts to move. Price only trades from 2 points, either a gap or a grab of liquidity. We've already had that turnaround over here. So we're waiting for prices to go into a gap or to grab. Is this one going to just go there without? Okay, here we go. So look how close we are there, right? You're talking about scalping. So price is now left, gone up. I would assume that either on the pound or on the dollar is a gap here, right? Or it's taken a low here. So I didn't get it on this chart, but I'm going to show you what happens. So here's how you take a scalp. We have now starting to progress to go to the upside. We have taken out a high. We expected to trade to a gap, which it produces here. We get one more candle, come down. I'm going to show you 4 hour 15-1. Let me show you just in case you didn't. Okay, that's the gap. So that's the 15-minute gap over here, Mr. Harold. Watch this. Same thing, same process. We wait till price comes down into it. Boom. Okay. Now, to Miss Jill's question, there's no gap in here. So what happens? Takes a low. We should expect it to take a high. We wait for the high to be taken. Not yet. Right? Boom. After that high gets taken, price only trades from 2 points, either gap. So we could, where's my long position tool here? We could trade from this gap. Stop here, target there, that's a scalp. Or we can trade below this low. Target there. Let's see. We're already in this one, by the way. Oh, by the way, don't do this. I keep doing this on streams. Keeping the stop that tight. Don't do that, right? There's your scalp trade. But it's built off of a 4 hour, not off of an isolated 1 hour on its own. Now watch what price is doing. Like magic, right? Like we spoke about today. Takes what? Takes a high, trades into a gap. 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 Tell me if that's awesome or not. Tell me if that's awesome or not. Let me know. Isn't that just absolute magic? Right? Takes a high, gap. Gap. Internal, external, everyone. Internal to external is nothing more accurate than that. Bring me all your indicators. I will bring this and I'll show you that I will do it time and time again. It will be better. Right? This will be better. And then, of course, what happened here? Let's check. Let's check. We then now crossed over what? A 1 hour, right? A 1 hour high. Maybe even, let's check, a 4 hour high as well. So where do we have possible targets? There. And from a 1 hour perspective, look at that. I drew that target on. Jill, come on. This is your question today. Let me pull it back again. I don't know why TradingView throws the extra candles in. We took out a 4 hour high. There is no gap. So where do we go next? That low. Right? If there was a gap, we'd go into the gap. That 4 hour high, absence of a gap means 4 hour low. Now watch what happens and then we'll just catch it there as well. Why does it keep doing that? Let me just play it slow on a lower time frame, sorry. No idea why TradingView is doing this. 4 hour low. Right? This is where people would think, Adel, there's no trade. Watch this. There's your high, and you, from a higher time frame perspective, you know that the price is supposed to go up. That's the high, right? Price only trades from 2 points. Either a gap or high or low. We got a gap there. Price is also taken out multiple highs there. If we get into this gap, there'll be an option for a trade. If we don't, we'll just go take out the high overall. Oh, we actually just went and took the high overall. But look closely. A new gap formed. I couldn't anticipate that beforehand. Let me show you. So that's, look at this. That's the high. Hopefully some of you are getting some value out of this today. Here's your gap. It's a small one, but it's a gap. There's the high taken. Right? There's the 4 hour low. So it's 4 hour. 15. Here's your trade. It's going to come out of there on the 1 minute in the same way with the same master pattern every single time. Right? So let's see. We tag that. Let me show you even more magic. What if I told you I'd take this trade right here on that candle, start below this low, target that high? What if I told you that without looking at what price did on the 1 minute earlier on, it's going to go and do that? See that? There's the high taken. There it goes back in. What is it going to do? Remember, I didn't look at the 1 minute, right? You saw me look at it now for the first time. Bang. Same thing over and over. Thank you. Somebody says excellent value. Thank you, Teresa. Right? Same thing over and over. How do we know that's going to happen? Again, I keep highlighting Jill on this one. That's why you have to ask questions when you guys are in class. Take the low, target that high. Right? Why? Because order flow is still up. And then process your information. 4 hour. Don't chase this. This is what happens to people. Coach, but shouldn't I have gotten this entire move up here? No. You don't have to catch all of that. You don't have to catch all of that. Just get the low hanging fruit. Your objective is not to get all of that. Let this play out to give you the sure thing. Could I catch this one? Of course I can catch this one, but we don't have to. Right? Let it play out to capture that thing. And you can see. Look at that. Look at the one. Look at that 1 minute come into. Right? Below that low. What did I teach you today? Here's what I taught you today on the class. And I'll kind of like wrap it up with this. Right? Inside of a gap, which is there. If we also find a low, which is there. That is stop losses plus imbalance, right? That's high probability. And what happens? Consolidations, right? Remember I said a base inside of a rally base drop base drop is consolidations. Those are targets. What do we get from that point onwards? Turn around, right? Tap back into that same level here. Expand up to take that target, also to take the higher time frame target, and then likely to go and further try and get to that weekly level. Now once we reach the weekly level, it's hands off, right? The scalping is going to be less. On our way there, it's good, but once we get here, it starts to become swing trading, at least for the short term, right? At least for the short term. Boom. Sounds like a counterintuitive thing to say, swing trading for the short term, but that's exactly what happens, right? And we can do this anyway on the charts. Now you need to learn when this becomes high probability and stuff, and that's why, as I said, the cohort is going to be, I'm doing the cohort, but we could really just, look at, in fact, why am I doing a replay? Just want to show you. Let's find any clear, because I want you all to see it clearly. Yeah, like this. Again, last thing for our newbies, right? For our newbies, look at this. That boom, monthly gap. Where can we go next? You know what? Let's trade it. You seeing now with me that I cannot see the other time frames, right? I can only go from, we know that it's going to come in here to go up there. Okay, so we go to the daily. Okay, what do we see? Same things that I taught you today. Consolidations under that low. Here's your trend line. All right, so now what do we need? We need price to break up. Let's get that break up. Not yet. And we're about to get it here. And then we're going to keep it simple, right? After we get this, boom, that's our break up. After breaks up, we can price trade from either gap or a low. Okay, so gap's forming there. Let's see what we get. Boom, we're inside of the gap. Now that we got that gap, it's a daily gap. We switch to 1 hour. Can I switch to 1 hour? Time frames won't allow me to go that far down. Too far back. Okay, I'm going to have to try and do this on a 2 hour. This is not good. Same thing. What does price do? Either from a gap. By the way, if you took the trade from here, you're already in a trade. Gap or low. I wish I could go lower now, but I can't. So I'm going to have to blindly take this one. So I might get stopped out on this one, and don't base your entire trading on this one, because I can't go lower like I want to. This trading view won't allow me to go lower there. So first target would be here. Why am I taking that gap? Well, we just took that. I'm not fully confident of this one. I would have liked to go lower time frames, but we'll see. We shall see. Yeah, thought as much. But now what I will do is, if we break up one more time, it will be a higher probability. I'm getting ready to put it there. If I had another time frame there, that would be an easier trade. Let's say we took that loss though. Right, we took that loss. I'll even take this loss as well if needs be. Let me not do that. Keep doing that. I'm going to show you. So we 1% down, right? We 2% down. Oh my word, coach. This is terrible. This doesn't work. Now, my students will know that, or those who've been with me longer, I wouldn't take all their trades in the first place. I'd look at the time of day. But let's keep it going. Let's say we're 2% down. Our count is down. We're in the competition. We're about to throw caution to the wind. We're now starting to think, this stuff doesn't work. And then what happens? Coincidence? I think not. That's 4%, at least 5% up. Is that good or is that good? You only have one option. Is that good or is that good? Right? What if we took that loss? boom, first loss, second loss, boom, all the way back. And then what if we just decided to go crazy? Now, don't do that, right? But we decided to try and hold it all the way till there. Don't do that, right? I wouldn't do that. But you could get now break even. So don't never hold it till all the way there, because in the approach there, all that's happening is it's clearing something higher here on a higher time frame, so it needs to come back, and I can prove it to you, and that will be the last thing I do, right? So whatever this is going to be higher than this. It's going to cause price to come down to a low on a higher time frame or a gap on a higher time frame. So let's go and check. I'll highlight this point. I'm going to guess and say that's a weekly. Yeah, perfect guess. That's a weekly high, right? If that's a weekly high, boom. Price will usually trade into a weekly gap. Now, the only weekly gap we have here is here. But keep in mind, on the correlated asset class, we might already be in that weekly gap. But let's see if we get there. We miss it. We just miss it. I'm 99.9% sure we are inside. You know what? Let me prove it. Why am I going so long today? I get a message from Coach Brian and Coach Cindy saying you're going too much. I don't know. You guys are stuck with me through the entire time. Let me show you. I'm going to show you wherever we are here, that if we missed it there, we're going to be in it here. He said chart. Okay, is this at the same spot? I'm going to have to replay the chart quickly just to let it match up. Okay. Let's see. Da-dum-dum. Yeah, we've got a gap. Is this the correct thing I'm doing here? Let me see. Option I. There we go. Sorry. That's how the chart should look. Okay, let's see. We're supposed to get into this gap. One of them is supposed to reach into it. If it's not this one, it will be GU. Let's see. Why is this not playing with that chart? There. Look, look, look. Everybody see that? Tell me if you see that. You see how that one's hitting it and this one's not? Did I not say to you 99.9% that that one's going to go in and this one's not? Right? See? Now after that, it's magic again. Wait till the 4 hour breaks up. We'll take a trade from the 4 hour from that weekly. Right? In fact, why don't we just take the trade here with model 1? I know some of you are foaming at the mouth thinking, model 1, coach, you never taught us model 1. This is model 1. Watch. Entry over there. Let's play it out. Now you should have taken profit on the way up there. This becomes a new entry on a daily chart likely. I'm not going to go to the daily chart now. And let's go. Boom. Can a coach truly memorize all of that? I can't, right? Park says, and the scales were removed from our eyes. Absolutely. Hopefully, my existing mastermind students can see what's coming in the cohort is going to be. We're making monster traders, right? I am taking this to that level. You are still here because you're a monster trader. Absolutely. Who loves to teach and to help others. Absolutely. You see, one hits, one doesn't. Higher time frame levels, everyone, is easy. Your higher time frame game should be next level. Now, before you jump off, please go ahead and like the stream again. If you already did like the stream, then thank you for that. But thank you all for joining me today. Hopefully there was a lot of teaching, a lot of value in here. This is like a full-on class. Now, of course, what I'm going to be doing is in the code, I'm going to make it a lot more structured. We're going to talk about understanding all these levels and why step by step. And then from that point onwards, we're going to leave it there for you to review multiple times over. And then the last week of the cohort, we'll do some back testing. And like I did, one of those 3-hour back testings and stuff like that. But again, this should prove to you, unless I can memorize every price action on the chart, I know what I'm talking about here. price is going to be doing this until it reaches its levels. Weekly area taken, weekly area traded to, and we reach up to go higher, right? That's it. That's it for today. I'm supposed to say, like the youngins say, like, comment, subscribe. You know what? For the few that just stays on for the last, but let me tell you something I shared with someone today. And maybe this is just a reminder. I know a lot of the students are on here, so you guys know the story already. But I shared it with someone today, and I saw how much value it added to them. So let me share it to you again. I'll be very short. If you have to go, you have to go. I understand. This is not trading related, it's just personal. So someone came to me today, and they were here. Thank you, Mr. Jason. And they were here regarding something else that I needed some work done here at the house and stuff. So we're speaking, and we got to speaking about the word. We got to speaking about God's promises and stuff. And usually this is the point in the church service, where people start getting up and go. So it's okay if you guys have to go, but I'll keep it real short while you're still on here. And I told him one of my testimonies. I said to him, let me tell you about the time. And it's the first time he heard it, and a lot of you on this call might have heard it because you've been with me for a while. If you don't know, I am a minister, and so sometimes I feel the need to actually just share and to minister. Somebody says, what time tomorrow? I don't know yet. I'm going to play it. I want to see what time most people can join, so I'll let you know. We'll send out an email at least an hour in advance, and then 15 minutes in advance as well. So, I reminded him of a promise I seek the Lord for. Like myself, my wife, we were trying to get pregnant for a while, and this was not happening, right? This was not happening. And so I went to the Lord and I said, Lord, when she turns 30, right, I'd love if you could allow her to be pregnant by when she turns 30, because this is what we wanted. And I prayed and I prayed and I prayed. And at this time I was ministering like everywhere. Any church that would invite me, I'd go. People were getting saved. I was really just, on fire for God and stuff like that. And then, not to say I don't do that anymore. I just don't do it as frequently. I serve in my local church more than anything else. So I was doing this, and then on her 30th birthday, we went out for lunch. And she was smiling the entire time, And I remember we've been trying month after month, and she was smiling the entire time. And then she looked at me across the table. She said, I got something to share with you now. At this particular point, truth be told, in my mind, it wasn't even on my mind. I wasn't thinking, okay, she's going to tell me she's pregnant. I've kind of I can remember where we were sitting as well. I kind of just was enjoying the day with her. And she said, I got something to share with you. And she said to me, I'm pregnant. And man, I thought to myself, this is what I prayed for. I told God by her 30th birthday, and he did it on that particular day. Can you imagine how ecstatic I was? Right? I was ecstatic. I was saying, this is what I believed God for. He did it. He's awesome. He's amazing. Fast forward a couple of months from that, my cousin, they were about to get married. I was supposed to be the MC at their wedding. I'm that guy in the family. I don't know if you're one of that. Let me know in the chat if any of you are one of that, or in your church or in your family as well. Maybe Mr. Park, you're also one of that. Like you're the person who prays at every family meeting, or you're the person who does all the MC jobs at the parties. You just do all of those things. I'm that guy, right? So new to tech, Harold, yes, absolutely ecstatic. I'm like, God answered our prayer. And I'm telling everyone, of course, look at how God answered us. Look at how amazing he was. And I signed up to be the MC at my cousin's wedding. I didn't sign up, they requested it from me, and they're very close to me. And so on the day, early morning of that day, now some of you guys might think I'm crazy, but I honor my obligations as far as I can, and my wife knows how we operate. On that particular day, the early morning, my wife would go on to have a miscarriage and lose the baby at home, right? At home. I remember like yesterday, I told her, don't look. I told her, look away. I cleaned up. Because I said to myself, I don't want her to see this and that be the last thing she remembers. You guys tracking with me? Let me know if you're still here. And so now what do I do at this point? I'm like, God, I told everybody that you came through. Everyone. I told everyone that I prayed for this and you came through, and you did. So what now? And think about the backdrop of this all. I hope you guys are finding value in this. I was speaking to someone today. The backdrop is that at this point, I'm thinking, I've done all these things for you, God. Like, how do you do this to me? You know, if you've ever been in a position, now this might be slightly funny for some of you, but have you ever been in a position where you threaten God? Like, I know we can't threaten him, but I was like, I'm a threatened God. I said, God, if you do this to me, I'm done with you. You know, I'm done with you. My wife was crying. She was in a bad state. She blamed herself, as many women do, even though it wasn't herself. I tried to reassure her. She was crying every day, every night. We were heartbroken because we tried so long. And long story short, many a nights I had to sit in the car in the garage so that I can cry, so that she doesn't hear me cry, so it doesn't affect her, so that I can be angry with God. And shortly after that, God would tell me that you have to minister about this on Sunday. He says to me, go and minister about this on Sunday. And I'm like, no, I don't want to do this. I don't want to minister about it. I don't want to do anything. I don't want to talk about anything. I'm done. But thing about me is that I don't know. I don't even want to say it's a thing about me. Let me just say, the thing about God is he finds a way to restore you even when you think he's not going to. And I'm sitting in the car and I don't know how this happens, but I decide I'm gonna minister on Sunday. And I go to my wife and I say, listen, you know that I'm a minister. You know that I minister my life. You know that I share who I am, and I'm going to have to tell the story. I'm going to have to minister on Sunday. God wants me to minister, and he gives me this message. And I'm not going to go into detail of the message here today because I want to get to something else that's very important. I won't keep you guys much longer, but listen to this. He gives me this message. What do you do when God says no? Right? What do you do when God says no? Now, this is a tough thing for us because how many times you've been in a situation where you believed to something, you prayed for something, you trusted him for something, and then you don't want to be honest about it now probably, but he just never came through in the way that you thought he was gonna, right? He never showed up and never happened in the way that you thought, and so you kind of like just moved on from that. How many times have you not told someone that God said you must do something, and then it didn't happen on the timing that you thought it must? And then you didn't want to share the truth about it, and you just moved on from that into the next thing that you're believing for. Come on, Harold, a few times, me too, right? But we know that he's faithful, we know that he's good. So I told my wife these words. I said, you know, I've got nothing else for you. It's not money, it's not anything. The only thing I got is Christ and him crucified. That's all I got. So let me go lay myself down before this people. That Sunday I preach a sermon in the same way that I'm telling you the story now. So everybody gets happy with me. Everyone's like, yes, they're pregnant. And then we go downhill when they discover that we lost the child. Everyone's crying, and I'm speaking about what happens when God says no. I still have the recording of that. I've not been able to. Someone else recorded it, but I've not been able to listen to it myself because I just don't like the sound of my voice when I listen to it back on the recording. But I go through that, and then we go through this period of healing. It takes a year and 6 months, and we decide we're going to try again. But this time around, it's like even harder. There's no way. We're not falling pregnant. Nothing's happening. Oh, before I get there, how can I jump this part? If you guys are still here with me, let me know. Put a 9 in the chat if you're still here with me. You know, I want to share this with you guys today. So on that Sunday, I minister this word, and I see here this I'm listening, and here the 7 people come out that day and tell me in different words, but the crux of the matter was this: today was the first day I forgave God for what he did to me. Now you have to understand, some of these people have been saved longer than I have been. They've been there for years. They're older people. They say, today was the day I forgave God what he did to me. I said, wow. I said, God, now I understand why you wanted me to share the story. One lady said she had a miscarriage at almost 8 months, and none of us even knew about that. She just stayed at the church, never came back. This is when I was younger, much younger. And she said, never forgave God, never ever forgave God. I pretended that I was still a Christian. I never forgave him until this morning. She told me, until this morning when I heard you preach that word, I forgave him. So think about that. That's life or death for her in terms of her relationship with the Lord. So I understood it from that perspective. But then we went into this next phase. Now, if for those of you who know my son, have seen my son, he's quite small. So what I'm about to tell you is quite amazing in itself. And I'm telling this guy this when he was here at my house. I'm almost done, by the way. So we tried to fall pregnant again. Nothing's happening. A year and 6 months goes by. Nothing's happening. We go and see a fertility person, a fertility specialist. And if you think it's amazing so far, it's going to get even more amazing. We go and see a fertility doctor and stuff like that. And the doctor's like, okay, you're going to have to take this, that, and this. But be careful. You might end up with twins or quadruplets and all these things. And we were like, oh, my word, this is not something we want right now. We're young. We just wanted one kid. We're not ready for 4 kids or whatever. And my wife tells me as we leave the doctor's office, she says, let's give God 1 more month. Listen to that. I want you to remember that now. Let's give him 1 more month. And I say to her, okay, let's give him 1 more month, right? Thank God for that day. She says, let's give him 1 more month. We're not going to take any of this medication. She even goes as far as saying, we're not going to buy it. We're not going to buy it at all. We'll wait 1 more month. Okay. So we go, thank you, Nutritech. We go home. We decide we're gonna trust God for this. And the next month comes. Let me know in the chat, what do you think happens? The next month comes. Let me know in the chat real quick. What do you think happens? 1 month later. Now, if you know the story, obviously don't say, but 1 month later, after the day that she said, let's give God 1 more month, what happens? What happens? Let me know in the chat. I know there's a bit of a delay as you guys are hearing this. So I'm waiting for you guys to drop it in the chat. Jill says, God blesses you with a son. Harold says, she's pregnant. Come on, there's more people on the stream. Let me hear. He answers. Heather, Nutritech, Harold, Jill. She's not pregnant. 1 more month later, she's not pregnant. I know you guys didn't expect that turn of events. We sit in the end of the bed. She comes back from the bathroom. She says, I got to tell you something. I said, what? She says, not this time. We're not pregnant. I look at her, sitting on the edge of the bed. I say, no. I said, this is going to sound crazy, but this time, in spite of what we see, here's a message for someone today. In spite of what we see, we are going to believe that we are pregnant. She said, what do you mean? I said, no, we are pregnant. I said, you're pregnant. She says, but I'm not. I said, no, you are. You're pregnant. I remembered like yesterday, I leave my workplace like the next day, and a friend of mine, a close friend of mine, calls and he asked me, hey, and he knows what we've been going through, and he asked me, hey, how's things going? Is your wife pregnant? I say, yes, she is. I know she's not, right? I know she's not. I say, yes, she is. He says, oh, congratulations and stuff like that. I just say, yes, she is. He says, what do you mean? Because you're acting weird. I say, she's pregnant. He says, so is she pregnant or not pregnant? I say, she's pregnant. He says, nah, man, tell me, is she pregnant? Is she actually pregnant or not? I say, she's pregnant. Okay. So some of you ladies might know some of these things about what I'm about to say next, and I'm almost done. 5 minutes max, I promise you. Of course, I know she's not pregnant. The results, the test, everything shows she's not pregnant. We've been longing for this. We've been praying for this. We've been fasting, all sorts of things. She's not pregnant. But I tell my wife we're pregnant. Every time she says anything contradictory, I say we're pregnant. So we start, a month after that, right? So a month after the month we gave God, right? Come on, faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. Let me not start preaching on Hebrews 11 here, Heather. Forgive me. So here's the big deal. So we gave God a month and he didn't show up, right? According to us, he didn't show up. But I said to her, because I received her faith that day when she said, give him a month. I said, no, you know what? We are pregnant. So the month after that, after the month we gave God, so in other words, 2 months, she is pregnant. Now this is amazing. Now she's pregnant. We're excited. We're like, oh, this is amazing. God, you came through. But remember, it's a month after the time we gave him. She's pregnant, and eventually down the line, we go for our first scan. And the doctor asks us, are you sure you guys felt pregnant a month ago? And we say, yes. And the doctor says, but your baby is scanning a month longer than what you are saying. Come on, somebody. Listen to what I'm saying now. Your baby is scanning 1 month longer than what you are saying. Okay. We're like, okay, we don't know, but I'm telling you, we did multiple tests, and this kid only scanned, we only fell pregnant a month ago. Okay, we go for, had to listen to this, it gets better. We go for our third scan. We eventually had to go for a 4D scan, do all sorts of other scans, because they started worrying that something is wrong. Because this child, and my kid is small, by the way, this child's head, they do that 95 percentile thing, the hands, all of this stuff. They check all of these things and they say something's wrong. Your child is scanning. Every time they do a scan, it's scanning a month longer than it should. So they send my wife for sugar tests, diabetes tests, all these things, because they're saying this only happens when you got this disease and that disease and stuff. And I look at my wife and say, there is no disease. Let me tell you what this is. This is God telling us that month when we said, you are pregnant, it was that way. My wife was like, but we got to check. And we, of course, we did all our due diligences. We checked. But I said, you know what? I don't care. Let me tell you honestly, I had no fear. When they were telling me about, the head and the chest and the heart, all these things are growing too fast. And so check for this, check for that. And then I said, I don't care anything about that. We said we were pregnant a month ago. This child has been born that way because God said so. He was born, no issues, perfectly healthy. They tested her so much, they could find nothing on any of those tests. Even till the point that she had to give birth, they said, okay, he's like a month over. All of the stuff we had to hear. It seems like he's a month over. Maybe we must go and do something. No. We just said, let's follow what God said. Right? And I'm sharing that all with you today. And I know I'm putting this on YouTube. I don't really care. Maybe someone will hear this and it will be meaningful to them. But my answer to what happens to God when God says no today is that He is God. Trust Him anyway. Keep on standing. Keep the faith. The thing I've learned in life is, regardless of whether or not I know the answer to why I'm going through what I'm going through, I cannot take away that God is always love, He's always righteous, and He's always just. None of those things will ever get violated. So whatever I'm going through, it's in my best will. All things work together for the good of those who love the Lord. Everything. So I know this was a trading call today, but I wanted to share a bit of my personal testimony, and I have many such ones. God has certainly been tremendously good to me and my family and stuff, in spite of all my faults and failures, and in spite of all my shortcomings. And He continues to be that good. And by no means, even by any stretch of the imagination, am I even close to any level of perfection. But God has been kind and He's been good and He has blessed me. And I wanted to share with everyone today, even when it seems hopeless and it seems like it's done, if you will stand and believe one more time and don't waver from that, take my word for it. Friends are calling me on a regular basis. I sounded like a fool. I just kept saying, she's pregnant. They say, how far along is she? I remember this. My good friend Marcus said, how far along is she? I said, she's pregnant. He said, what do you mean? I say, she's pregnant. She's 2 months? She's pregnant. Is she a week? She's pregnant. Same answer. We trust God. Let Him answer that. So for all your situations, all of the things that you are going through, just trust. the longer you guys stay on these classes with me, the more you'll hear such stories. There's much more of where that comes from. Let me give you the cliffhangers and the highlights. These things you'll hear down the line. I've died already. I've been stabbed I've been stabbed once. I've been gun pointed 6 times in my life. I've been in a hijacking. By the way, now this might make you think like, oh, is South Africa that dangerous? This is like at random different places. The enemy's been after me my entire life, right? Even since birth, I almost died. But I'm saying all of that to say you have a story just as important, and God's working with you just in an important way as well. But you have to persevere. You have to stand. You need to forgive God. You need to move on. You need to trust. You need to overcome all of those things that is about you, and just lean on Him. You might not be anywhere you want to be today, right? But nothing you are today and no place you are this moment is by any means a surprise to God. So trust that He knows where you are going. So I kept you guys very long here today. It's been 1 hour and 25 minutes. That was not intentional. I just wanted to share that because someone came to my house today and I saw what impact it made, and it's been quite a while before I shared it like that again. And I thought, you know what, I'm seeing you people every day. I might as well share that with you too. Heather says, this is why I joined the group. A word at the right time. You know, that's God. He knows. He knows when and how. I'll say this to you. These things have not come by me. They've surely and only come by God. I'm nothing special, but God is. Right? So trust. I mean, I look back at those moments. If you ask me honestly, how did I overcome even the miscarriage and all of those things? I don't know. But that's how the kingdom of God is. Someone goes and sow a seed. That's what the Bible says. You do not know how it came up overnight, why it springs up, what took root. You don't know any of those stuff, but it works. Our only objective is to trust in God regardless. So if you're listening to this and you're not Christian or anything, you're not a believer, I don't want to say Christian because a lot of people call themselves Christian but don't have a relationship with God. If you don't have a relationship with God or anything, why don't you try this? You know, try and pursue Him and see if He shows up. The Bible says if you knock, He answers. If you call out to Him, He's there. He's always there. You just need to make that first step, that first action, and He will show up. The Bible also says, draw nearer unto Him and He shall draw nearer unto you. Thank you everybody for a blessed session today. I think anytime we share our testimony or even the word as a whole, it has an effect on us as well. I'm sitting here as I'm sharing with you. I'm also feeling charged and encouraged by it in the same way. I'm reminded that my Father has been good to me. I have a son today. He's 5 years old. His name is Asher, which means happy and blessed. He's the last son of Jacob, according to the Bible, and he brings joy and blessing to our lives every single day. He is my pride and joy, and he is teaching me what I need to know about God. Let me give you one last thing to do. Look at your kids. You know how you want them to trust you and just to have faith in what you're saying and to believe what you say, even though they don't understand why you're saying what you're saying. It's the same thing God expects from you. Exact same thing. Trust, believe, have faith. Thank you, everyone. Share your testimony with someone too. Right? Share your story with someone too. We're living in a world where people just hide behind everything, but the Bible says we're overcome by the blood of the Lamb. And for those of you who know the next part of the scripture, it says, and by the word of your testimony, not someone else's. We are overcome by the blood of the Lamb and the word of your testimony. So share your testimony with someone else. Right? Someone might need it. Thank you for listening today. You guys have been awesome. Be blessed. Never intended to go that long. I think probably even my wife is sitting in the next room and listening as well to this. If she's not sleeping already, she's probably sleeping. But thank you, everybody. Love you all. Be blessed. Thank you. Thank you. You guys are awesome. Awesome. Well worth it. Thank you. By the word of your testimony, you all got a story. Thank you, Adam. Thank you.